The Niners kicker position has been something that was questionable heading into this offseason, with longtime kicker Robbie Gould moving on. But this left a question: who would replace such a reliable kicker? And the answer seemed obvious: Jake Moody, the kicker out of Michigan, who was widely considered one of the best kickers coming out of the draft in a while. And it wasn't like this draft projection wasn't backed up, as Jake Moody scored a school career high with 355 points scored. So with this accolade, along with others, the Niners felt justified in using a third-round selection, which they said was more like a fourth, on Jake Moody. And so far, the results have been questionable. During training camp and practices, Jake Moody is dead money and has a booming leg. But in the games, he's questionable to say the best. And recently, something even a little bit more unfortunate has happened, and Jake Moody sustained an injury. And while Kyle Shanahan hopes that he'll be ready week 1, it may not be the case, and the Niners needed to look elsewhere. And this is the signing that might save the Niners week 1. And while many people are probably going to hope that now I'm going to bring up Nick Bosa's signing, I'm bringing up Matthew Wright, the kicker out of UCF. He's been in the league a couple of years, but he honestly offers everything the Niners are looking for in the kicker. In this video, I hope to break down who Matthew Wright actually is and what he offers the Niners and what his career looked like up to this point. Matthew Wright began his football career at Lamter-Starsburg High School in Lamter, Pennsylvania, and he was a solid kicker. He was number 46 kicker in the nation according to ESPN. He converted 122 of 126 extra points. That's good for a conversion percentage of 96.8%. Wright also set a record for longest field goal in high school history at a length of 49 yards. To say he was a solid kicker would be an understatement. After an impressive high school career, Wright turned his head to UCF to take his kicking talents there. And from 2014 to 2018, he set several school records. With the most notable, at least for these school records, for the Niners' sakes, being his kicking percentage, having the best career kicking percentage of 77.4% and a second best career PAT percentage of 98.5%. So now with Wright's collegiate career wrapped up, he had the opportunity to look towards the NFL to pursue football professionally. He initially signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He then signed with the Tampa Bay Vipers, a team in the XFL, before returning to the Steelers, where he received his first opportunity to actually kick. When Wright did receive his first opportunity to start for Pittsburgh, he was ready, completing 100% of his field goals as well as his PATs, going 4-4 on his field goals with his long being 46 yards. The next year, Wright saw his most extensive opportunity to play in the NFL at Jacksonville. He played in 14 games, had a long of 56, made 21 of his 24 attempts, going 87.5%. Wright during this time with Jacksonville made 86.6% of his PATs. Going into 2022, we would see Wright play with two separate teams, Kansas City as well as Pittsburgh. During his time with Kansas City, he played in 2 games, with his long being a 59er. But he did go 3 of 4, resulting in a completion percentage of only 75%. But he was perfect on PATs at 100%. Now moving on to his final stint with Pittsburgh, he played in 4 games, going 85.7% with 100% of his PATs made. Across his time in the NFL, Wright's played in a total of 23 games, with a field goal percentage of 87% and a PAT percentage of 94.6%. So what exactly does Wright offer to the Niners? I think he's really kind of fitting the mold the Niners are looking for in a kicker. They obviously are moving off Robbie Gould, who's an extremely accurate kicker, but was losing his leg towards the end of his career. They moved in to Jake Moody, who has a booming leg. Wright fits that mold as he also has a booming leg, And this way, you won't have to rush back Jake Moody if he isn't fully 100% healthy. This also gives you kind of a backup plan in case Moody continues his preseason struggles. In this way, we can see why Matthew Wright might be a key part of victory for the Niners come week 1. Maybe as important as a player as Nick Bosa, who's looking to get signed. And speaking about this signing, Kyle Shanahan said he hopes to have this worked out by next week and have Bosa on the practice field. So then it leads to the question about if Nick Bosa will actually be in full football shape come week 1 and how effective he'll actually be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you guys think down below, not only about the Nick Bosa situation, but the signing of Matthew Wright? It would also mean a ton to me if you guys liked and subscribed. And as always, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.